Alright then, today is another video with the R1150 GS, which currently has a rev counter issue. So today I'm going to get into that front end and see if we can find the problem and, more importantly, fix it ready for its MOT.
I'm going to work my way through this issue, starting off with an easy check, which is starting the bike and moving the handlebars from side to side to see if the rev counter springs into life, as worn wires can sometimes cause the issue that I'm faced with, but this check hasn't really worked. So now I'm going to get behind the instrument cluster, starting with removing the windscreen by undoing these T30 screws. There are 4 in total, and with the screen removed, it's onto the top cover above the lights. And there I'm going to remove the 2 T25 screws and lift the cover off, exposing everything I need to see. And now I'm inside and I remove this single Allen screw first before moving on to the 2 Allen screws at the top there. There are 4 in total, but I need to move the instrument cluster forward to get to them as they're underneath. And before I can do that, I need to remove the 4 nuts that hold the clocks in place so I can have access to check all the wires and just make sure everything is 100% okay before I move on deeper into the bike. Now on first glance everything does look okay, so with the clocks loose I carry out a quick inspection, moving them forward out of their position to see if any issues stand out, but there's nothing obvious. So I start the bike again and have a little bit of a prod around in the hope that something does trigger the rev counter, which again, as I expected, it doesn't. So off I go. I pop the plastic housing to inspect the rest of the area while I have it all opened up, and now I can see a bit better. So the next part I want to do, I kind of want to take this part off here because I want to look at this, because in the future I want to be able to take this off, clean it up, try and clean the contacts up with some kind of alcohol cleaner, because the LCD is not working properly as it should. But I want to take this off anyway. It just gives me more room to play within this area here, and it allows me to just sort of look into this stuff and clean this stuff up as well. So now it's off with the 2 remaining screws I mentioned earlier, the ones that are underneath, and with them removed I can take that plastic part off the back of the clocks and give me even more access and a clear view to see where I need to go. Then I cut off some cable ties that were in the way. That allowed me to then move things a bit more freely, and obviously I can start the bike and start wiggling more wires to see if that works. But a point to note, don't stick your tools or anything on top of your bike, because that thing is an absolutely big rattling machine and it just shakes everything off. As you can see, everything's gone from the beak. So unfortunately I've not been able to get away with a quick win, and now I've got to delve a bit deeper, and like most other jobs on this bike, I now need to take the fuel tank off, which I'm a bit of a pro at because, well, I've kind of taken this tank off so many times I can just do it in my sleep. But anyway, the job now is to just trace the wire from the back of the clock down to the wiring harness, and the wiring harness is looking pretty good because I cleaned it before. So then it's just a case of cutting some zip ties, feeding the wire out and giving it a bit of an inspection.
So I'm at the point where I've taken the tank off the bike and the seat and everything else off just to gain access to that wiring loom. This bike is no stranger to being stripped naked in the barn. So what I've got now is the clock is there, the wiring loom comes all the way down, and I do remember this from when I did this clean. What I'm finding is it's clean from when I cleaned it, but when I've run my hand along it, it does feel like it's been pinched in a couple of places. So I'm kind of hoping that that is just cosmetic and it's not really an issue, so that we can then move on to the next checks. But for now I'm just going to cut this off, and then when I get some wiring loom tape I'm just going to tape it back up.
Now annoyingly I bought a little tool to make wire stripping way easier than it is normally, but it didn't arrive, so I had to use a knife and check the wires as I cut the heat shrink off. And as nothing was found when I went through one more time, I fed the wire back through the forks and into the harness, connected it up and refitted the tank before going for lunch and working out what to do next, because everything seems to be fine with the wiring.
Bit of a quick catch up then on where I've been and where I'm going. So the where I've been bit is I've been inside the instrument clusters and all that, looking inside there, checking everything. Everything looks all right. Everything else works apart from the rev counter. So that's really annoying. I've then traced the wire, pulled the wire from its connection. So I've got the one connector, the male connector in my hand, and then the end of the clock there. I've checked that wiring all the way through because I took off that insulation that was there protecting it. There's no damage underneath that to those wires, so that's fine. I've cleaned the connector then, and then I've connected everything back up, started the bike, no luck. So that rev counter is definitely not working. So where I would like to go next is into that display, into that rev counter, tachometer, whatever you want to call it, and just see if there's any kind of corrosion inside there that may be causing this problem. The other thing I want to do is kind of trace the wire into the Motronic unit, but that's already been done before. In my previous videos, I went through that whole wiring loom and everything was cleaned and checked and re-insulated if it was needed to be done. So that's fine in my head. The other thing I've done now in the meantime, just in case, I've pulled all the fuses to try and give the Motronic unit a bit of a reset. Clear it all out, and then I'll do a start and then a Motronic reset, and then we'll check the rev counter from there. But that is pretty much where I'm stuck at the minute. I don't quite know what else to do other than try and trace every single wire that leads up to that clock. So yeah, let's put the fuses back in, see if I can start it after a Motronic reset, and then if I can't, I'm putting everything back together and I'm just going to ride it until something happens and that rev counter starts working again. Now, the one thing I didn't mention there was when I pulled the fuses to do the Motronic reset, I realized that there was a potential that I may need to get a new rev counter. So I went about taking the tank back off again, pulling the clock out, and then just doing a couple of checks to see if I could actually get into the clock to separate it and make sure there was no corrosion inside. But unfortunately, I couldn't separate the clock to be able to get in there, which was super frustrating because it's just one thing I wanted to take off the list before buying a new clock. So as you can see there, I'm carrying out the Motronic reset, and yeah, to my dismay, it didn't actually work. So like anything, before you quit, you just got to try a little bit of brute force and ignorance, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm tapping the clock on the tank to see if I can get any movement, because I did spot something that piqued my interest. All that. There was such a small amount of movement. I'll see if we can see this without reflection. Such a small amount of movement down the bottom end, and I just thought, there's no way it can be an issue elsewhere if that's got such a tiny little movement. So I started to lose my temper a bit and walloped it on the tank a couple of times. And there we have it. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen, but now we'll see how long that lasts. But I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you, but that's how I fixed it. So yeah, that's pretty much going to bring the video to an end. Thankfully then the bike is all back together, it's working as it should. That rev counter, man, I could have saved myself some time and effort and just bought myself a new rev counter, but I think it was more fun chasing the fault, even though I did get a bit like disheartened at one point, thinking, wow, this could be like a big problem. But as it goes, a little bit of brute force and ignorance saved the day, and it was all just by looking at that little clue that it gave me where it was tiny little bit of movement, just ever so small, but I spotted it. Give it a couple of whacks and it's loosened off whatever corrosion is inside that clock. So yeah, that's going to bring this video to an end. The next step now is getting this thing through an MOT and then taking it out for some rides. But I'll bring you another video soon. Thanks very much for watching.